How would you feel if I told you that camera phones in 2023 are actually threatening professional cameras for many casual users? Google, Apple, and Samsung are currently untouchable status. Can the Xiaomi 13 Pro also be a part of this game by fixing their camera software issues to go along with their amazing hardware? Let's find out together by letting the facts speak. If you don't know, the new Xiaomi phones supported by Leica have two modes, authentic and vibrant. We always use vibrant with the 12S Ultra because the photos look better to us, but we went with authentic this time because there were a lot of people asking about this in the comments. The first image is me pretending to know how to use a professional camera. We feel that the OnePlus 11 did the best here, as even though the iPhone 14 Pro's background looks really nice, my face is slightly grayed out. The Galaxy S23 Ultra is a bit saturated, but still looks good enough to challenge the iPhone, as I look fine on the Xiaomi 13 Pro, but the sky is a little blown out, so it will get 2 points. In the second image, I do feel that Apple and Samsung have done something right here, as both are really appealing to me. OnePlus's photo is also really good, just that I would have preferred a little less sharpening around my facial features. Xiaomi, on the other hand, has smoothed out my face, as well as kind of fumbling on color accuracy. In the last outdoor image, I have to say that I'm once again impressed with OnePlus and their latest flagship. They had kind of lost their touch over the years, but along with Hasselblad, they're climbing fast. The iPhone is a bit more detailed than Samsung, but the colors are slightly better on the Galaxy. It's just really close overall. Xiaomi though hasn't shown up so far, so let's hope things change in different scenery. To be perfectly honest, phones are getting so good that it's getting hard to compare them in terms of quality. Well, let's just say most of the time. It's just that whenever we use a Xiaomi phone, the software really struggles with skin tone and colors for some reason, but I'm wondering how this will affect the indoor performance. It's quite interesting, but I think all 4 photos of the first image are pretty good. Every device has their own interpretation of what's in the scene, but there's nothing that I would complain about. In the second image, I'm having a similar struggle. The iPhone's background looks the best once again, just like the first photo of the outdoor category, but OnePlus isn't giving up just yet either. That being said, the Galaxy's photo also looks smooth. The 13 Pro's photo is also pretty good, just that I'm not loving the color reproduction of the phone, so it will drop a point here. The last indoor shot was a really difficult one for the phones, as there were different color lights shining from different corners. I think the S23 Ultra and the iPhone 14 Pro did the best job here, getting 3 points each. The Xiaomi 13 Pro actually hit the nail on the head regarding the color of my skin, but the background is blown out, leaving the overall picture looking not so great. OnePlus though dropped the ball. The warm white balance is really aggressive, so it will be the first to receive only 1 point. Overall, I think that they're really good indoors. The Chinese phones are just slightly inconsistent, but that issue can be solved by taking more than one photo or playing around with settings, so I'm not too bothered. Now, let's see how they perform at night. The thing I noticed straight off the bat was that the Xiaomi 13 Pro's photos look soft but clear, which is a nice surprise. It's good to see the Sony IMX 9891 1-inch sensor at work here. The OnePlus 11 and the S23 Ultra have almost identical photos, and the iPhone has brightened up the photo too much in my opinion, taking away the natural night look. Xiaomi continues to impress at night, as the difference between their flagship and the others is quite visible. Look at how much artificial sharpness has been dumped onto the other photos, while the 13 Pro remains soft and natural, just like the 12S Ultra's handiwork. OnePlus and the Galaxy are again almost identical, with the iPhone doing slightly worse. In the last photo of a nice nighttime view, my decision will be the same as the previous photos. The iPhone has the same yellowy outlook at night that the 13 series also had, and I would really like them to start addressing this. In the end, the Xiaomi 13 Pro looked to be lagging behind a little compared to the other 3, but the performance it put up at night changed things for them completely. We'll have to also see how these phones hold up during ultrawide though, as it could be a struggle to keep this quality going with a lesser camera. Not really any issues during the day though, as I think that the first image is a pass, with the 13 Pro dropping a single point, as it's a bit hard to spot everything clearly at first glance because of the lower brightness. The same rings true for the second image, but I still think that everything looks nice overall. Moving indoors doesn't look like we have any problems when we take some photos of paintings, which could be pretty common when visiting museums and exhibitions. When the lighting isn't great though, the iPhone was interestingly a little better than the others, albeit not perfect, so 3 points. The Galaxy comes after with 2 points, as OnePlus and Xiaomi get 1 point each, as neither look appealing enough to overtake the others. Ultrawide at night made me lean towards the Xiaomi 13 Pro once again, with those softer textures and less noise. The OnePlus 11 also did well, so it'll take 3 points, as the other two have quite a bit of noise, leaving them with 2 points each. With a person in the frame, it became really difficult. None of them look good enough to me, as they're either too dark, blurry, or overcome with yellow tint. I'll still give OnePlus and Xiaomi 2 points, while the others get 1, as their photos are a bit more usable. Now that we've thoroughly analyzed regular photos, we can go ahead and check out the portrait mode of these phones. One might say that Xiaomi uses blur aggressively, just like how it was on the 12S Ultra, but I really do think there's a huge improvement in the 13 Pro software. All of these photos look pretty nice. If you have any opinions you'd like to share, feel free to leave a comment, and you can also like and subscribe to support us. The second image though is something else on the side of Xiaomi. Even our photographer was impressed by the result, as this photo could pass as one taken by a DSLR, while it's obvious that the other three were taken by smartphones. The 1-inch sensor is putting in work, and it continues to do so in the second image. Technology is evolving really fast, so as I said, I'm having a hard time finding issues. The photos of the Galaxy S23 Ultra and the Xiaomi Pro just look amazing. The other two also look really good, just a little less good. Indoors though, we see that the iPhone made a very rare detection error around my hair. Xiaomi and Samsung have done better work here, as OnePlus gets 3 and Apple gets 2 points. The next image is yet another one which I like all photos taken by all of the phones, and I would gladly use any of them on my social media accounts. The last indoor photo though did make it hard for everyone involved. The iPhone still put up the best performance, as it was a good balance between the OnePlus and the Galaxy in terms of color and tone, which is where unfortunately the Xiaomi slipped up. At night, software plays a pretty big role. The camera update of the S23 Ultra might have done something here, as their photo along with the iPhones look really nice. OnePlus comes after them with 3 and Xiaomi with 2 points. Next up is a local city angel with a halo on its head. Nah, I'm just kidding. The iPhone manages these situations pretty well, as it will be followed by Samsung and OnePlus, with Xiaomi coming in after due to the white balance. With an image like this though, Xiaomi does it again. The background looks super nice, and even though it is a bit too dark, I love the natural look. OnePlus also tags along by managing the lights pretty well, as the other two have kind of lost the plot. Well, regardless of the points, I have to say that Xiaomi impressed me a lot. The 12S Ultra's portrait photos were honestly not that nice, but they have stepped up their game big time. The truth is though, the 12S Ultra was pretty good at videos, so how does the 13 Pro do here? It looks like they're going to make me happy. As I get closer and closer, you'll be able to see pretty much every single detail on my face on the iPhone, but the 13 Pro is very close, and it's nice to see Xiaomi not giving up on the video quality that they achieved on the 12S Ultra. The Galaxy takes 2 points here, as OnePlus didn't even readjust the focus, which is kind of disappointing. In ultrawide, I continue to be impressed by Xiaomi's latest flagship. The scene in general looks good on all of them, but as always, details and facial features and clothing are really important in videos. The iPhone as usual looks slightly better than the Galaxy, and even though I like how my face looks on Xiaomi's flagship, the rest of my body isn't that detailed. OnePlus is lacking quality in the video department, but you can't win them all. Indoors is where weird stuff starts happening. I already know that iPhone's video will look nice, but will you look at the quality of the Xiaomi 13 Pro? The colors look the best, and it's also the most visible. Really solid stuff. The S23 Ultra and the iPhone 14 Pro will get 3 each, as OnePlus gets 1 with the camera not autofocusing properly. Ultra-wide video indoors though is getting even more interesting. I like the footage from the OnePlus the most because of the detail and brightness. The iPhone and Galaxy get 3 points each, while the Xiaomi gets 2. At night, I have to say that the iPhone is just more consistent. Xiaomi looks nice, but the autofocus kind of ruins the end. OnePlus has a huge amount of noise, while the Galaxy doesn't look appealing at all, but the latter is still better. Ultrawide is kind of hilarious. 2 points to the iPhone for managing to show at least something to us, while the rest won't get any points at all because these videos are just unusable. Apple will probably include 8K in the iPhone 15, but we will have to wait and see. Xiaomi's 8K is okay, but it's not that stable and can't be used without the phone being still. OnePlus has a slightly better 8K than Xiaomi, as the stabilization is an improvement. Samsung has the best one though, as the S23 Ultra is currently the best phone to shoot 8K videos with. In the end, the iPhone remains the most consistent phone to shoot videos with, especially if you're only shooting in 4K, as it is unmatched. Xiaomi was impressive here though, so thumbs up to them. Now, here are the optical zooms of the 4 devices. The Galaxy, as you know, also has a 10x periscope telephoto lens, so we kinda know which way this will go. The monument is very far, so it's not gonna be easy to spot something at the first levels, which is why I'd like to quickly skip towards the 10x zoom that I talked about. What I see is the iPhone 14 Pro doing decent against the Galaxy S23 Ultra, as the zoom algorithm of the other 2 Chinese phones are just really underwhelming. Samsung is cruising to an easy win here, as the iPhone takes 2nd place with better quality and earlier zoom levels. Stabilization wise, I feel the iPhone S23 Ultra and the Xiaomi 13 Pro are very close to each other. If you want to shoot in 4K, you can't use active stabilization, which means you shouldn't be moving around too much. The order is Apple, Xiaomi, and Samsung, then OnePlus in terms of shaking and vibrations. When we turn on the highest level of stabilization on these devices, it becomes a competition between Apple and Samsung, but Apple has the slightest advantage in the end with slightly more stable footage, but it's very similar. OnePlus and Xiaomi software fails miserably here as, in my opinion, this is unusable. Front camera is where one of the phones is going to shine bright like a diamond. I'll go ahead and say it, I love the S23 Ultra selfies. Most of the time, they look like they were taken by the rear camera. The iPhone 14 Pro and the OnePlus 11 also look nice, with Xiaomi being stubborn about their front camera once again. For portrait selfies, I prefer Samsung and OnePlus. Apple and Xiaomi come after. Indoors, the iPhone and the Galaxy look pretty good. There are no big differences between the others, but the OnePlus made me look a little ginger, while my face is a bit pale on Xiaomi's side. Indoor portrait is just Samsung all around. This photo looks quite natural, I'm actually really impressed. 3 points for the iPhone and the OnePlus, and 2 points for the Xiaomi 13 Pro due to the HDR being subpar. At night, not really a fan of any of them, but the Galaxy's photo is slightly better than the others, who will get 2 points each for varying issues of blur and color accuracy. Night portraits look better on Samsung once again, as OnePlus takes 3, Apple takes 2, and Xiaomi takes 1 point. The video quality of the front camera is also important for all the social media kiddies out there, and the iPhone and the Galaxy are unmatched because they both have top-tier autofocus, while the other two have fixed focus. They put a lot of effort into improving both the hardware and the software for the selfie camera, and it has paid off. What's up, guys? We're back with another mic quality test. Now, some of these phones you already know, but some of these phones are brand new. And over here is the trusty iPhone 14 Pro, and right next to it we have the Xiaomi 13 Pro. We're waiting for the Ultra. I'm really curious to see how its camera is going to be, but the Pro also looks to be a very nice phone. Here we have the OnePlus 11. Now this year they didn't release a Pro version, so technically the 11 is kind of the Pro, but it has surprised me. It's a very good camera phone, unlike the previous versions. And we have the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, finally equipped with a global Snapdragon chip. It's definitely one of the best phones that I've ever tested. Since the Pixel isn't here, we will have a new winner in audio in the form of the Xiaomi 13 Pro. It's actually really clean and doesn't have the robotic sound that Apple phones have or the dimmed down sound of Samsung flagships. As for slow motion, all of these phones can do 240 FPS at 1080p, but the trick is to go into the settings in which you will see the Xiaomi flagship being able to shoot in 1920 frames at the same resolution. The 480 frames of OnePlus or the 960 of the Samsung can't match up to it, giving it first place. Last on the list is macro, something that iPhones and Galaxies are very good at. I was impressed by the super macro mode on the Xiaomi 13 Pro. It has a regular macro mode as well for some reason, but the super macro mode that utilizes the zoom camera works pretty well. I'd say that the Galaxy and the iPhone are still kings of this mode though, as they're able to get really close and also have great quality in their photos. Well guys, thank you for sticking until the end of this camera comparison. The wide camera goes the way of the Galaxy, but it was super close between all of the phones. Ultrawide is tied between iPhone, Xiaomi, and OnePlus. Portrait went to Samsung, but once again, it was insanely close as they all did very well. Videos were unsurprisingly taken by the iPhone, with zoom going to the S23 Ultra. Stabilization is, in my opinion, slightly better on the iPhone, and my preference for the selfie camera is the Galaxy. Audio is better on the Xiaomi 13 Pro, with slow motion also being in their corner. Lastly, the iPhone and the Galaxy are just slightly better than the 13 Pro. If you liked what you watched, consider leaving a like and subscribing to support us. See you around.